Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. I got to start off with a disclaimer. I didn't tell you about this either. I got YouTube for the whole month of July kept emailing me that they have a change in policy that whenever I show film or I have music, they can play a commercial. So when I say no commercials, no bullshit, any commercials is strictly on their part. And this is to the NFL. I do not get any revenue whatsoever. That's a revenue share between YouTube and I guess the NFL or music, whatever. I get none of that, and I can't control it. But when me and you are doing this, they can't they can't run a commercial. So I'd have to run a disclaimer on that. So anyway, so our last video seemed to do very well. I just wanted you to know that I am a Chicken Little fan. I don't know if you can see that. So at least I don't have to put up Chicken Little graphics now. We can have you in the flesh. So, okay, a lot to talk about. We got all kinds of things to go over, and I think this is going to be a really good program because I believe that we're going to be discussing things that people just refuse to talk about. One thing is I found very interesting. Dan Jacobs brought something. I did a little research. Found out that Elway actually did not say that in reality didn't want a part of the team. Kaiser, thank God, stepped in and had the legal right to step in to keep Elway from getting any ownership of the team. I'm not sure where the right to refusal is now, but even Broncos' own attorney admitted that Kaiser did have that right to step in and keep Elway, thank God, from becoming an owner. So I'd like to discuss that later. But we'll talk about the game. It seemed like there was a slow start. Exactly what we were told wasn't going to happen. Some of it was Bridgewater, some of it wasn't Bridgewater. I was looking at the film. There are some things that I saw that I was positive about. Some really interesting stuff too. I got my concern really is on the defensive side of the ball. I was not happy, and I realized having played, and I can tell you that the defensive starters, it's like yoo-hoo, we're coming. That I understand the preseason game, they're dialed back a bit, but I did not like how easy the backups could move on this defense. So that was my take anyway. So anything else, just let me look at the cue card. I think that just covered everything that I had written down. Take it away, Colby.
So what I saw in this game was a slow start to begin with, and then they got things going as the game went on. They were running a lot of three wide receiver sets. What a shocker. They have completely abandoned the Rich Scangarello stuff, in my opinion.
Only until they needed to kickstart their offense. If you noticed, when they came out, I think it was the third series where they scored the touchdown. And I'm working on the film right now, the breakdown. I'm in the process of doing that. They used the tight end heavy set, and it seemed like kind of a quick huddle type situation to get their offense on track. Not the three wide receiver set, but they had to rely back on that, which begs the question: why did we get Shermer in the first place? Go ahead.
When I was watching that, it's funny because this team has no identity on offense. I'm more concerned about the offense than I am the defense. You have your concerns about the defense. We'll get in that we'll get into that in a little bit. But I want to strictly talk about the offense real quick. This offense has no identity as a unit because they have to flip-flop back and forth. Oh, if we have a slow start, okay, let's go back to the Mike Munchak, Rich Scangarello offense. So this is the definition of an offense who, when they play the big dogs, and the big dogs, I mean the Ravens and Steelers and Chiefs and even the Chargers who are getting their shit together, we are going to struggle in those games because what are we going to do? What is our mindset going to be going into that game? You can do this stuff against the Jets and the Jaguars and the Raiders and the Lions, but you can't do this flip-flop crap against the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Colts, the Bills, etc. You can't be doing that when that you guys want to be 9-8 and go to the playoffs supposedly. Like 9 wins is going to make you guys feel good. So I don't understand as a fan base and also as an offense of technique, an offense of schematic standpoint. Why did you bring in Shermer? We know why they wanted to bring in Shermer, because they wanted to go downfield 20 plus yards. They wanted to be the poor man's version of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, people will say, well, with Teddy Bridgewater, he can't throw 20 plus yards. Let me just ask you this, to the people that have that argument. What do you think they're going to do to Bridgewater? They're going to force him to do things that he's uncomfortable doing. We saw that with Drew Lock. We've seen that with Joe Flacco. We saw that with Case Keenum, just to bring up examples. So why do you think that it's going to change with Teddy Bridgewater? Oh, because he knows Pat Shurmur and he knows George Payton? That doesn't make any sense. This is not the Minnesota Vikings. This is the Denver Broncos.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he ain't coming here.
I have to tell you something. Just this morning, they had Oakley, Dokely, Stokely, and Evans the Idiot, and their morning clown show, and STR. Let's put out those Dove Valley talking points as fast as we can. They were really selling the 9 wins. Just get those 9 wins. If we just get those 9 wins. And of course, what did they talk about before those 9 wins? Just before it. Oh, they were talking about Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, where am I some sort of conspiracy? Oh, no, maybe that's all I am. Go ahead. Go ahead. QAnon. So yeah, I'm listening to this crap on the radio. So you're absolutely right about the identity crisis, and is that someplace that Aaron Rodgers really would want to come to? You know what really frustrates me is that Dan Jacobs was on the radio, and he does leak out some really good stuff, but I get pissed off myself and frustrated because he's talking to Columbus, who's as clueless. I don't know if he's clueless. He's just part of the problem. Oh, don't, I'm sick of the negativity. Shut the hell up. You're going to get negativity until we actually see something besides a bunch of PR and spin. And they went into this whole thing about George Payton not getting Justin Fields and George Payton this. And I'm like, wait, time out. Come on. This whole, it's when George Payton came out and said Elway picked, it was so telling, Surtain. The thing me and you really never highlighted was STR's reaction to that. They were like, we can't, we're not allowed to talk about that. They won't give us access. Elway doesn't exist until, and again, we'll get into the ownership thing, which now it looks like, again, more lies were told. You can imagine that, and Elway's part and everything. It's just like, enough already. The only way that this addresses your identity question is that we have somebody that gets in there, boots out all this garbage that they know PR. They get that. I want to talk. There's one other thing I want to talk about too, and that's with the ownership too. Is that they started getting into how owners. We'll get a billionaire who will build office complexes with the training facility, and I'm like, it's just the mentality that's out there. Let's not talk about how to build a real rock and roll franchise like we used to have. Let's talk about how a guy can create office complexes, as if that's going to fucking solve problems, So I know this is just, I'm kind of throwing it in there, but it just was another week of just listening to bullshit and just like, because they're not addressing anything. So I want to break down and I'm doing film right now. I want to break down your offense a little bit. They were running 2 and 3 wide receiver sets. The offensive line, to their credit, didn't actually do bad. Also, the running game, I was pleased with the running game, how they were busting up some holes. Matter of fact, this is what I found very interesting. Looking at the film, Gordon had a big run, and Glasgow did actually a really good job. But the surprise,
That was Bobby Massey.
that was not Bobby Massey, because I stopped the film and I had a look because I thought it was Albert O. I thought that's who helped spring it. It wasn't Albert O. It was Quinn. What's his name? Quinn Bailey. Quinn Bailey. I was very impressed with that block, and I'm wondering, are they developing him? Will he develop? He fits the model. You don't like Quinn Bailey? Tell me about Quinn Bailey.
I think Quinn Bailey is like an Austin Slotman, a big-bodied guy who I don't think has any technique to his game. I think he's a guy, if you're going to develop him, you cut him and you put him on the practice squad. I'm more of the mindset of the Quinn and Miners, Netane Moody. I'm more focused on those guys right now because I think that Netane Moody had a great game.
When was he in? When was he in?
He was with the second. He was in towards the end of the first unit, and then he was playing a lot of the second unit. So he played a little bit of half and half.
Well, they did a crap job blocking for Locke, and I don't know if that was on his side. It looked like it came right up the middle.
It looked like it came on the left side with Calvin Anderson, in my opinion, on that left side.
Now, I haven't been looking at the, but what happened is that not only that, they couldn't run block. They could not, that second unit could not run block. They couldn't do anything until the second string starters for the Rams were taken out. That's when things picked up for them. So there was no sense in evaluating Locke based off of that. That was an abortion.
I wasn't evaluating Locke because he's a dead man walking.
He's a dead man walking, yeah.
Evaluating Locke because he's going to be out of here in the next year or two. So I'm not really focused on that right now, unless some sort of miracle happens when they surprise me and be like, yeah, we made a mistake, but they're not going to do that. So
they'll double down. They'll double down. But matter of fact, I told you it wasn't going to take long for they're already wanting the fan base already wants Bridgewater out of there. I told you that wasn't going to take long. They're already doing it.
They're already doing the mutiny.
They're already doing the mutiny. I told you.
And that's the thing I want to address as well as the mutiny with this fan base. I hope everybody and the people that come on here and accuse us for being QAnon people and the people that accuse us for being idiots, you guys are going to realize here in the next month or two that what you see from the offense, the first few series of this offense, is basically what you're going to get the rest of the season, because their mindset in Dove Valley, they want to win games 17-12. They don't want to go past the 20-point mark unless they go against the Jets or the Jaguars. But when they face the good teams in the National Football League, their mindset is they want to beat teams 17-12 because they think they have a 2015 Denver Broncos defense. And we're going to get into that, and I have a lot to say about that. But that's their mindset at Dove Valley. And the guy up top, John Elway, who, everybody thought he was gone. And
he doesn't exist. He doesn't exist.
Yeah, doesn't exist, but I've been pounding the table since he basically promoted himself to be the director of player personnel, how Patrick Surtain was his pick. They wanted Trey Lance. Patrick Surtain was their backup plan. I have been trying to tell people this for months. Everybody thought it was a dumbass.
Backup plan? Who's backup plan?
Elway's backup plan. And you're going to sit here and tell me that they didn't want Trey Lance in that draft? Are you freaking kidding me? Who was the first quarterback they went to go see? Out of all the quarterbacks they went and see, they went to Trey Lance's. And that told me something that, hey, they want this guy because they want their next Josh Allen. Because STR was like, oh, we need to get our next Josh Allen. We need to get our next Josh Allen. Okay, there's a guy in North Dakota State a few hours north of Denver. So let's go see him.
You can't make this stuff up. And then they come out, and George Payton comes out and says, yeah, that was John Elway's pick. They refuse, and that's the telltale sign. They refuse to acknowledge that, even though it came out of George Paton's mouth. So I didn't mean to get you off track. What? Tell me about the offensive lineman. Go back to the offensive lineman.
I think that Dalton Reisner had a good game. This past.
I was going to tell you, Dalton Reisner got shoved right into on a third. I think it was 3rd and 2. I looked at it because I was really again, Wyatt Shermer. Show me you can pick this up on a running play. Just show me that. So they're going to throw the ball. Bridgewater probably could be accused by being a little bit too close to Reisner, but Reisner just got shoved. I mean, literally, not just kind of. I mean, he got manhandled, just shoved right back into, and that created a misfire because Bridgewater's standing too close. But of course, I don't think he expected to have Reisner shoved like that. And again, granted, it was one. I thought overall the offensive line did a pretty decent job, but it was Reisner who got his ass shoved. That's I'm sorry, I'm still on the fence about that guy.
You're good. You're good. I think that Dalton Reisner can be a good guard in this league, but I think that he's been prone to help out Lloyd. He's in the middle of Lloyd Cushenberry and Garrett Bowles. So what do you expect from Dalton Reisner? He's going to have to help out one of those two. So his focus, in my opinion, his focus, I think, has been helping out Lloyd Cushenberry and Garrett Bowles instead of focusing on himself. Like if he had a Quentin Nelson, he would focus on himself. But we don't have that. We got a Dalton Reisner. I still like Dalton Reisner. You have your ifs about him, but I think that if he was developed properly, he could be a damn good guard in this league. I think that he has the size.
Yeah, I could go there too because this Munchak, his hands are tied. Definitely, of all people, his hands are tied.
And I just want to say this. Graham Glasgow, again, I mean, nobody's talking about Graham Glasgow here. Graham Glasgow, and he was playing in this game. I didn't see anything special from Graham Glasgow. I mean, you've seen the film. I didn't see anything special from Graham Glasgow this preseason. I'm talking about the whole preseason. I'm not just talking about this past game. I still saw technique miscues from him, who was getting pushed back. Oh wow, he's going against the second team of the Rams. Wait till he goes against the Leonard Williams of the world and the Calais Campbell and Derek Wolfe and Stephon Tuitt and Cameron Hayward with the Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to judge this offensive line when they go against the Ravens and the Steelers.
That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying all along. Yeah, that's what I've been saying all along. That's when the rubber really is going to meet the road on what's what and who's who. I did make the note that this depth on this offensive line is 1 inch deep, based off of that. They just could not handle the second tier team for the Rams.
Had a good game, but my opinion, if you could go look at that scene today. I might be wrong, but I thought Netane Moody had a bounce back game from the Seahawks game.
Well, there's 4 other guys on there. Luck had no.
I'm strictly looking at Netane Moody because I think he has the upside to be a damn good guard in this league.
So why is Bailey then? To answer this question, why is Bailey starting over Moody?
He wasn't starting over Moody.
He was. He was in.
Oh, he was on. No, he wasn't. He wasn't starting over Moody.
Bailey was with the first team. Bailey got it on film.
Glasgow on the right side, and then it was Netane Moody on the right side, and then it was Cameron Fleming and Bobby Massey on the side. 75
is. I got the number. 75 is, maybe it was just a couple of plays, but on that play that sprung.
He's starting over Moody. That's. I'm sorry, but he's not starting.
They didn't put Moody in. They put him in. Quinn was there with the starters, and he helped spring the Gordon run, the long Gordon run. I'm telling you, it was 75. I thought it was 85, but I freezed it, looked, took a good look, and it was 75. It was Quinn Bailey.
Okay.
He was in with the first. Why wasn't that Moody then?
I think it was
Tell me
Graham.
the number. I'm just giving you the number. If unless they changed uniforms, 75 is Quinn Bailey. It said on his uniform 75.
Okay.
So he was in.
Okay.
I don't know if he was in for just that couple of plays and that was it. I don't know if Moody was in for a couple of plays with the first unit. I don't know. I just saw that run and I was looking at who made that work. Because
Okay.
when I see things work, I want to know who made that work. That's when I look at the offensive line. That's my look because I want to see the good as well as the bad. But that was number 75.
Okay.
So my question is then why are they putting him in ahead of Moody?
I can't answer that question because from my eyes, I saw Tay Moody. I didn't see Quinn Bailey in this game, but that's what I saw that's what I saw when I was watching the game. So.
But Moody, you said, didn't come into the second. Well, I'm doing the film right now. You can check it out. It definitely was not Massey.
Okay.
It was a 75. If you freeze the frame, you'll see 75.
Okay.
So he was in there. So I'm just wondering if you think that Moody isn't getting the reps that he should, or
I think that. Well, let me just say this: if they were high on Moody, why did they bring in Graham Glasgow? If they were high on Moody, then I'm a lot higher on Moody than some people are. I like Moody as a player. Quinn Bailey, I just haven't seen the growth that I thought I would see that I've seen from Natane Moody going into his second year. Yeah, Natane Moody had his struggles last game, but that's one game, and the way that he bounced back in the Rams game, I don't know. I see a more willing learner and a more willing with a technique base that Natane Moody. I think he has more physical upside than a Quinn Bailey, in my personal opinion. And when you are a road grading offensive lineman, yeah, Quinn Bailey could have one good play against a second team unit, and we say the same thing with Moody. But every time I watch Moody play, he's just like a stalwart on that whatever side he's playing on. He could have played the left side. I might have miscued it. Quinn Bailey might have played on the left side. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see Quinn Bailey in the game, but from my eyes and from what I saw, I thought Natane Moody had an excellent bounce back game, and that's what I wanted to see from a second year player.
Yeah, I haven't, like I said, I didn't break down. Just was right now because I did the first unit when Locke was there, and I didn't have a chance to look at.
Let me ask you this: we haven't even heard of Quinn Bailey's name since this game. So what gives me the hope and the courage to be like, yeah, this guy's going to be a future offensive lineman for the Denver Broncos. He'll probably be released, and he'll probably go to another team, and he'll probably succeed there. Because
Oh God, yeah. I was wondering if they were rotating, but he was in. He was definitely in. I verified that. I just wonder if if they're rotating Massey.
maybe. But Quinn Bailey is so the rotating Massey, that would be with Cameron Fleming and Calvin Anderson. Quinn Bailey's a guard.
Yeah, yes. That's what I didn't understand. That's why I thought maybe that was the.
Because unless he was on. So okay, so that running play to the right, that's the one you're talking about when they springboard. Oh, yeah. Okay. From my point of view, on the right side, it was from what I saw, I'm going to go back and look at this. It was Bobby Massey at the right tackle position. It looked like Graham Glasgow.
Yeah, that was Graham Glasgow. But it was
Might it? I don't know. I have to go back
It
and watch.
definitely wasn't Massey. Yeah, it was 75. I mean, I looked at the jersey. The jersey says 75.
All right.
Because what he did is he blocked and then he ran down. That's how come I was able to see his jersey. I thought it was Albert O at first, and then I looked.
Playing center then?
What's that?
Was Quinn Bailey playing center? Because from what I saw, it was Bobby Massey, Graham Glasgow, and it might have been 70. Was Quinn Bailey playing center?
No.
Okay, then I didn't see 75 then.
No, he was on the right. He was again the right tackle position. And that's why I said it. I thought it was that's why I thought it was a tight end. But it was, but it was jersey 75. I'm just telling you, freeze the frame. It's jersey 75.
Okay.
Whoever's white guy, it was a white guy. So
that's racist.
I know. I mean, I'm just it wasn't Massey, is what I'm saying. It definitely was.
I'm gonna go back and watch it and see what I saw.
Yeah, and just freeze it when he's running down, and you'll see 75. It's clear as day.
Okay.
So again, I don't know what they're doing, on this, and I think that they are experimenting. I don't think they.
That's another thing. If you're going to experiment, why are you waiting to the third preseason game? See, that's what I'm saying. This team has no identity. Why are you waiting this long to experiment?
That's what I'm trying to point. That's my entire point in all this.
Go ahead.
That's my entire point. That's my entire point. Who is what and what, how, where. Now let's go back to, let's now get away from the offensive line for a minute and talk about Bridgewater was rusty. Receivers.
Yeah, Judy. Yeah.
Yeah, Judy, come on. And even Sutton had to warm up. There was a play where he stops, like he's waiting, he's going to wait for the ball. Then he takes off once the ball was running, and it was thrown behind him. And they're not in sync.
And let me just say this. We have the Giants coming up in 2 weeks, and I know people are looking past the Giants.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
But I'm telling you right now, you aren't going to be able to do this when you go to New York, because the Giants actually have a solid defense, ladies and gentlemen. They actually have a solid defense. And you have New York Giants friends, and you've seen the message boards out that way. But from what I've seen from that Giants defense, yeah, they lost their best defensive lineman. But you ain't going to be able to afford those miscues that you did this few days ago against the Rams, against the second team. You think you're going to be able to do that against a James Bradbury, one of the best corners in the National Football League? You really think Cortland Sutton are going to be able to afford those miscues?
No. I'm going to tell you right now that had this been week 3 or 4 against the Rams, and you're playing Sam Darnold, and you're playing there, and you got Stafford out there who's not injured, This game, before they got to that drive, it would have already been 14-0, I believe. I don't think there would have been field goals. Because we need to get into the defense a bit, because their second unit really could move the ball. Now, granted, their quarterback was loosey-goosey scrambly, but they didn't have any problem running on this team. And that's with Pecco. Who's the guy you like? Purcell. That was with Purcell in. And to my surprise, they had one decent play. I thought Von Miller was great.
Me too.
But he's a man on an island. There's no push-up. He doesn't have the player personnel he had in 2015. And he's a man on an island. The one guy who had a big play, believe it or not, was Josie Jewell, who schooled one of their second-string offensive line and sacked. It was nice. It was nice to see, but it's not going to happen because he doesn't do this during the regular season. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
And let me just say this. That's the guy I was going to criticize. And yeah, he had one good play, but what happened after that play? They attacked him and Alexander Johnson in the middle of the field. And did you see they weren't afraid to pass on Justin Simmons' side either?
No. Oh, I got to talk about that too. I thought, and I never talked to you about that. I was analyzing the defense, and I thought one week, I thought if I would go after anybody, it would be Fuller and Simmons together.
Fuller had a bad game.
Fuller, I think, is a decent slot guy, and I think if he rotated with Calahan, remember we showed the Bears film, and he was in the slot, and he did a pretty decent job. But I think he's getting a little over the hill for the edge.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's an Elway move. A name. Kyle Fuller's a name. He was good 2-3 years ago, just like AJ Boye. But I'm telling you guys, everybody, I'm telling you, I thought Darby had a solid game. I thought that Calahan had a good game, but Fuller, Simmons, and Jackson. What do you expect? I mean, what do you freaking expect? They kept passing on Fuller and Simmons' side of the ball.
Well,
Simmons,
I would.
he was out of position again. Fuller was out of position a lot too. So you're going to sit here and tell me that we have the highest paid safety according to, Adams in Seattle is actually the highest paid safety now. But at the time, you're going to tell me that Justin Simmons is the highest and the best safety in the National Football League. When you go back and watch the game this Saturday, they're not afraid to attack the middle, and that's what I've been trying to tell people, that when we go against the Chiefs and the Chargers, they ain't afraid to go on Justin Simmons' side of the ball. Nope. They ain't afraid to.
Oh no, they will. They will attack.
They will attack him, and they will attack. And this guy right here was the first person out there saying that we're soft in the middle and hard on the edges. What did they do in this game? They attacked the middle of the field. We got no push up the middle. Yeah, this is the 2015 defense all over again with Malik Jackson and Derek Wolfe, with Shelby Harris and Draymond Jones. Where was Draymond Jones in this game? Nowhere to be seen.
There was no push up the middle whatsoever.
Against the second-team offensive line.
Against second-team offensive line. And I'm telling you, they ran the ball successfully against the Broncos. And I think with if that had been Stafford, their receivers, I think that it would have ended up being a 14-0. By the time the Broncos decided they were going to run the Scangarello system and go in that hurry-up huddle kind of thing that they ran, it's going to be over by that time. We're in special teams.
Last year.
It looks the same as last year. Special teams also doesn't look very good.
What did you expect? I mean, okay. You keep saying of Stafford and the receivers in there. Even if that first string offensive line for the Rams with Andrew Whitworth, one of the best left tackles in football, and they have a really good offensive line there up in with the Rams, and they just brought in Sony Michel from the Patriots, a good running back. You really think that with the Sean McVay, he runs the same offense that Kyle Shanahan and Rich Scangarello, Mike Munchak run? I've been saying this. You're going to really say that they were going to be able to stop that running game with that first string offensive line? I kept seeing Shelby Harris, the guy that I want to talk about real quick. You gave this guy 3 years, $27 million for a guy that is 29, 30 years old. You could have went out and got a Sheldon Rankins or a Jordan Phillips, a guy that you could have replaced. And this is the mindset that it just mind boggles me that I didn't see anything from either Mike Purcell, who I'm very disappointed in. He needs to step up his game. Draymond Jones, guy I've never been high on, and freaking Shelby Harris, who, yeah, he has a few good plays a game, but he doesn't impact a game like Malik Jackson and Derek Wolfe did in 2014.
Not even close. No, it's not even close. No, they all want to go into amnesia when it comes to what the formula is, and listen to the new branding. We got new branding. We're branded as the new 2015 branded. By who? The PR machine.
Do they realize who we had on that 2015 defense? I mean, do you people realize who we had?
Well, didn't you say that somebody was laughing about this?
E.J. Ward.
T.J. Ward.
I sent you the video.
Yeah,
I
he
sent
said,
this
he
guy.
said, what? What
What are you
are they
talking about?
talking about?
I mean, you're going to sit here and tell me that Josie Jewell and Alexander Johnson are on the same coverage level and the same instinct level and side to side level as a Brandon Marshall and a Danny Trevathan when Brandon Marshall was in his prime and Danny Trevathan was in his prime. Who did Danny Trevathan go to after the Broncos didn't re-sign him? Oh, that's right, Vic Fangio in Chicago.
Now, and then again, it goes back to what we were saying. How did Fangio build his Bears defense versus how did the Broncos? What is he allowed? He's not allowed to do. He's not allowed to get those players.
No, and I think that George Paton and Vic Fangio actually have a good relationship on what they want to build as a team. But what have we said? They're both hand tied. They're both hand tied. And from what I was looking at with the George Paton press conference, I'm going to continue to bring this up. They wanted to go after Roy Robertson Harris, a guy who started in Jacksonville, who's a damn good player. If you give him the opportunity, they kept bringing that name up. They kept bringing up they wanted to bring in defensive linemen. Why do you think that is?
Why do they keep bringing it up? Because STR refuses to believe the guy that's calling the shots is calling the shots. So they have to come and explain themselves. This is what we wanted. This is an STR. He doesn't exist. He doesn't exist. So, can you at least say if you fire Fangio, if this whole thing, that's another thing.
Just fire him, please.
This is the thing. They keep wanting to say we gave him everything. We gave him everything.
But you didn't.
Well, you know where that comes from. Yes.
Dub Valley.
I just don't think that the Broncos, it's mind-boggling that even Fangio would even accept the offer. So, I mean, again, I'm thinking Elway yeah, I think Elway promised the moon and and refused to deliver the treetops.
That's what he did. That's what he did with. Oh my gosh! Another example. This is what Vance. I'm telling you, Vance. Everybody can hate on Vance Joseph for what he did, but what is he? Oh man, he has the right idea on how to build a defense with Arizona. He might not be a great defensive coordinator, but my God, at least he's getting talent in there for whoever the next defensive coordinator is to actually have a damn good defense. He just like when Chuck Pagano took over for Vic Fangio in Chicago, he still had a damn good defense because of Vic Fangio.
So let me ask you this. Go off topic here because we're getting into the Elway thing. So I just want to let everybody know that maybe there's people out there that already knew this, but it came news to me. Dan Jacobs brought up the fact that that this whole narrative that John Elway refused the of ownership in the Denver Broncos is not exactly the truth. Big surprise. So what it turns out, and I sent you, I guess I could post it, is that the attorney for the Broncos said that Kaiser had every right of refusal. That means Bolin could not sell to John Elway. So it wasn't that John Elway didn't want it. He did. He wanted ownership, but thank God Kaiser stopped that. He stopped it. And I honestly think that Elway was scheming to somehow get with Brittany Bolin and this whole thing. Because remember, kept calling it out. It's bullshit. Brittany is not going to be the new owner. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Finally, STR's like, well, we're going to go it's going to be a complete billionaire. My question to you is, what year does Elway's contract actually end? Is it the end of this season, or is it next season?
I think it's next season.
That's why I do not believe that they're going to sell the team until his contract is over. I believe that they're all STR saying it's going to be this spring. If Elway's here, unless he decides he's just going to leave anyway. Unless Elway's decided that since I can't own the team, thank God.
Could you let's just hypothetically speak. Could you imagine if Elway owned this team?
It would be 10 times worse. Well, he wouldn't exist even more. He really wouldn't exist.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, man, this team sucks.
It's not looking good.
Sucks. This team does not look good from a national standpoint, even a local standpoint there in Denver. Even where I live, I talk to people about this team. They think we suck. They think we're a joke. They cannot.
So they're not buying it. They're not buying Elway's spin.
I have friends at work who are Minnesota fans. They have their own concerns to be worried about. But the Minnesota fan, the interview I did, he said, your team your team put 30 points on us, but you guys won't be able to do that against the freaking Chiefs or the Chargers. Like, that's what I'm talking about here. They know, and I've shown them clips of what STR is saying, and like they think they're dumb as hell. They think they're stupid.
Well, that's what I get too. I get that, like, they can't stand listening to. They said they don't listen. They said when they do, it's just like, what are you talking about?
And that is what has happened to this team. My buddy who I work with and a few other guys, they said, man, Denver used to be, we used to fear Denver. Denver was actually a damn good team. They actually had their shit together. But now you guys are the freaking Jaguars and all the shitty teams in the National Football League. You guys are a joke.
That is why Elway went into hiding. Yep. This predates Fangio. This predates George Payton. They keep bringing it up. What's the common thread? Even STR keeps bringing it up, and then they go back to saying, "Oh, George Payton." There's one common thread in all this. The guy upstairs who says, "Don't you talk about me."
Doing.
Say it again.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
No.
He has no idea what he's doing.
I think now I've known people that worked with him and they hate him. They told me some horror stories. It's his way or the highway, and that's why he's kept putting himself further and further behind and trying to puppet master and all this stuff. He's got to go. I mean, and I'm not saying, and I want to talk about this too. There's a certain mentality in this day and age, and it's about billionaires. Unfortunately, they're tangled up in our lives a lot more than I would like to see it, just day to day. But there's this billionaire worshiping fest going on in this day and age. So
of course there is.
Yeah, I know. So I'm listening to the STR nonsense, and they were going on, oh, yeah, it's going to be a billionaire who's going to build this big office complex, just like Jerry Jones. And
yes.
That's what they're looking for. And I'm like,
what happened?
This is it. First of all, nobody goes to the office anymore. Didn't you get that memo? Why are you building office complexes yeah, why would you? I said, how about if we build a continuous Super Bowl winning type feared organization like Pat Bowlen did? Why can't we go that route? Bringing in the up-and-comers instead of names that have washed up people.
There is two things that I want to bring up. I want to go back and touch on the Elway point real quick. You say people that used to work with Elway. There's a perfect example out there, and a guy named Adam Peters. Who's that guy? He's up in San Francisco helping John Lynch out. He is the right hand of John Lynch. And what have they been building out there? They actually been building a damn good team.
Well, they have an identity.
Yeah, identity. And now going to your freaking owner point, what have the Cowgirls done since the 90s? They haven't done anything.
They built an office park.
Oh, yeah. You have seen Hard Knocks?
Yeah. You see that drone footage? Just look at that drone footage.
Yeah, that's what you want to build in Denver, right? But you don't want to build a successful organization like the Bills, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Colts now. the Chiefs, etc., the Niners, etc. We can't be like that. No, we have to be feel good Friday. Oakley, Dokley, Stokely.
Dokley.
Quarterback Aaron Rodgers has come to Denver. That sucks. It isn't going to happen. That sucks. It is not going to happen.
Now the narrative is going to be set. Now, when Aaron Rodgers says no to the Denver Broncos, that was Fangio.
Fangio will probably be gone. So who are they going to blame?
Oh no, they'll blame Fangio. No, they'll blame Fangio. I guarantee you, they will blame Fangio for that. Do not blame the guy up on top. Whatever you do, don't do that.
It just mind boggles me that John Elway gets away with all this shit. If it was Josh McDaniels, John Fox, Adam Peters, etc., it would be, pitchforks and it would be everything towards that player. But just because it's John freaking Elway, oh my God, we have to put onion layers around the freaking director of player personnel. We have to put. Do people freaking realize the director of player personnel, what his job title is?
Doesn't exist.
Well, he does exist because he was at the freaking victory speech again. What is the job title of director of player personnel? What is it?
Player personnel.
And what have we been struggling for in the past 5-6 years?
Player personnel.
Thank you.
And it's developing a system around it. So
you had it in Rich Scangarillo, but you let that go because he challenged Elway. Another guy that pushed out the door.
Whoa. They had it by accident. It wasn't because they were.
Still, they had it. It could have been by accident or by a freaking miracle. They still had it.
I see the Chiefs. Ahoy!
Do people realize what that system is based around of? The Kansas City Chiefs offense, what is it based off of? Like any other offense? The offensive line. The front five. When Andy Reid was in Philadelphia, they had Jason Peters, Lane Johnson, and then who came in? Doug Peterson and Chip Kelly. They had a good foundation around them with Jason Peters, Brandon Brooks, one of the best guards in football, Jason Kelsey, Travis Kelsey's brother, and Lane Johnson. You're going to sit there and tell me that Andy Reid didn't have that in Philly? Get the F out of here. What did he have 2 years ago? He had a damn good offensive line when they won the Super Bowl.
You're spending too much time on the offense. You're not looking at Mahomes. It's all Mahomes. He raised the ships.
Okay, and then let me ask you this. Then who helped raise Patrick Mahomes' game? Who was it? Andy Reid, Alex Smith, Eric Bieniemy, Travis Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, Mikael Hardman, all these players around him. Get the F here.
Well, we got receivers. We got receivers.
Yeah, same thing here in Denver. Look, we got 5-11 last year with all those receivers. Remember? All those receivers. 5-11.
Kind of like Detroit, right?
Oh, yeah. When they went remember when they went 4-0 in the preseason and then they went 0-16? Could you imagine if we went 0-17? Could you? Oh, my God. Could you imagine?
Well, Elway doesn't exist, so don't blame him.
Yeah, blame Fangio and blame George Payton. Blame both.
Of course, blame George Payton. We can blame him now.
I'm here.
Well,
that's
Well, I'll tell you. He was promised if he just bites the bullet, Elway's going to be gone. Supposedly.
Yeah, that's probably what Elway. Oh, I'll give you everything, Fangio. Just probably how they promised Peyton everything. Every time I look at Elway, he makes promises and never delivers.
That's Elway.
Oh, this team's a joke.
Yeah, I think that when if hopefully Elway leaves. Now,
Big if.
Yeah. Now Elway, he's not tied up with Peyton Manning, is he?
No.
I don't think Peyton Manning wants.
Manning does not like it. Peyton Manning, his last year in Denver, he wasn't fighting with Gary Kubiak. People like to say he was. He was fighting with the man upstairs because he changed. He changed the system that Manning isn't comfortable running. What I mean, you got to be freaking kidding me. This is like the globalist book that you can go online and read. This is put out by Plainview from STR and all this bullshit.
That's why I can't understand why anybody wants to sign up with Elway.
No, they don't want to look at it. Just like with the whole COVID shit, they don't want to look at it.
Well,
they don't look at it.
I'm just saying, I don't understand why the Fangios and the George Payton sign up. They should know better. Promises they'll never be kept.
I hope they believe it. Receivers. Aaron Rodgers.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater. Oh, my God. Yeah, 2-3 years ago would have been great. I would have loved to be honest with you, I would have loved Teddy Bridgewater 2-3 years ago. But he's going to be another quarterback buried. 11 starting games. 11 since Peyton Manning's gone. 11.
I don't think even the Browns, they may have more over a long period of time, but I don't think any team has killed quarterbacks as fast as the Denver Broncos. I can't think of any team that's killed them as fast as that. I don't think Chicago even has done that.
Nope, I can't think of it. And it's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment.
They just don't get it. Let's just kill another quarterback.
Yeah, let's say this offensive line is top in the AFC West. It hasn't looked like that this preseason, John Clayton. It hasn't really looked like that this preseason, again, for the past 5-6 years.
Well, I didn't think they were too bad in this game with the Rams. What's that?
Oh, against second teamers.
Oh, they're professionals. Don't you know? They're professionals.
Guys that will probably will be on the practice squad here in the next week or two.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them, yeah. Yeah.
And they killed our offensive line. This past weekend, they were still pushed up the middle. You saw with Reisner. Again, and I'm going to tell people this. You really think that Cameron Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, Calais Campbell, and Derek Wolfe and the Giants' defensive line, you really think that they're not going to cause any issues on this offensive line? You must be high. You must be on something if you really think like that.
Here, try some John Clayton. Oh. I got a big John Clayton blunt for you to smoke on.
Oh my God!
You're right. Yeah, and they look good against the second team.
Wow.
But yeah, they're not playing Sam Darnold. They're not playing the whole wrecking crew there. No, they're the linebacker.
Can I real quick? What happens when they go in the 3 wide receiver set? Does the offensive line look better, or does it look worse than what they ran with the Rich Scangarello offense?
They couldn't get the ball moving.
Oh, and then look what happened. They couldn't get it moving. So Mike Munchak's like, Mike Munchak, save me, run your offense. And look what happened. It worked.
Then they had to use that to springboard they used the 3 receiver set to score the touchdown, but that was not until they ran the Rich Scangarello stuff.
And look, it's going to happen. It's going to play out again this year. We're going to wait 10 weeks just to do that. We're going to wait 10 weeks. So we're going to be like, we are going to be delusional thinking that this 3 wide receiver set offense, the Mike McCoy lesser version of it, in my opinion, is going to help springboard this offense. It's going to be better with Teddy Bridgewater back there. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how long.
It's not going to be. I'm sorry.
I don't know how long Teddy Bridgewater is going to last. You had idiot Cecil Lammey saying, I'll take Bridgewater week 11 in fantasy. Yeah, I think he's going to last that long.
He ain't going to last that long, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you right now, He is not going to last that long. We saw the same thing happen to Drew Lock and Joe Flacco the past 2-3 years. And Jeff Driscoll, we saw that happen, and they were getting obliterated.
If the Broncos lose to the Giants,
I'm gonna. There's a distinct possibility that this could happen. I honestly believe that the Giants can beat this team.
if the Giants beat the Denver Broncos, what's that going to mean for the defensive narrative and the Bridgewater narrative?
It's going to shatter it.
It's going to be mutiny, right?
Oh Lord. You think that we're bad? Could you imagine we lose that game? There's going to be Bronco fans. I hope that
Getting a flu?
I hope they go to the right person and mutiny, please.
John Elway.
Yes, I hope they do that shit. I hope they do it, but they won't.
They'll go to Fangio.
Yep, and Peyton.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. You think there's a distinct possibility they can lose to the Giants?
I told you yes, absolutely. Could they beat the Giants? Yeah, absolutely. Could they lose
points?
Could they lose? Oh, if they lose to the Jags, that'll be quarterback drunkenness forever.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, if they lose, yes. I could imagine them losing to these teams. I could, until they prove otherwise.
What? And this is something that me and you have been saying. Everybody's like, "Oh man, this year's going to be different." We've been hearing that for the past 5-6 years. But from my perspective and from your perspective, what gives us hope going into this season? I mean, there's none. Yeah, we got these. Oh, Aaron Rodgers is coming here. That's your hope. Yeah, you said that about Stafford. You said that about Watson. You said that about Tom Brady a few years ago. You said that, and 3 quarterbacks had come out and said no to Elway. There's going to be a 4th one, and that's going to be Aaron frickin' Rodgers, who will probably go to the Saints or the Colts.
Yeah. The Brady made a comment. Brady went to teams and they turned him down. I guarantee you that told me something right there. Had Brady actually went to the Broncos, Elway would have signed him up in a heartbeat as his legacy, right? He would save his legacy. Brady did not ask the Denver Broncos for his services. Brady went elsewhere.
Yep.
And there's a reason for that, people. There's a reason.
Because Tampa Bay had better player personnel, and they actually had a system they were running there, unlike the Broncos.
Well, I'll even boil it down easier than that. They didn't have Elway.
That's true. And they didn't have
Elway. Brady's going to come here with Elway.
Yep. Brady doesn't like Elway.
Well, does Peyton Manning?
No.
Do you think word gets out?
Yes, because you saw it this offseason. Who was Peyton Manning putting his time and work with? Drew Lock, who they were trying to bury. That should tell you something.
I told you. That's what I said. I said that's speaking volumes because they were really just burying. They were all just loving it. Just okay. We're burying you alive right now. Coming from Dove Valley, Peyton Manning comes out. I'm going to work with him. What? And then remember how they were so just. Oh my God! It was like, oh. They couldn't believe it.
It's a joke.
Yeah. I think they're rallying around the wrong quarterback, and to be honest with you, just my take. I mean, I think it should be rallying around Manning, not Elway.
I agree. I think this team is rallying. I don't think this team is rallying behind anything right now.
I'm talking about STR.
Oh, yeah. But to talk about this team, everybody's saying that Teddy Bridgewater is a leader. They ain't rallying around anybody. A lot of those players have their personal agendas. They know this team's a dumpster shit and a dumpster fire. Well, they know the team isn't going anywhere.
That's where things could really go sideways, is that once that belief system is gone.
I think it's...
Well, and it very well could be, and that could end up unraveling. And the thing is that Drew Lock probably can't come in and say because they probably like Drew Lock. They probably, but the fact is they probably already know he's a dead man walking.
He wants out of here. I think he wants.
So I said that last year. I said when they pulled Rich Scandrell out and brought in Shermer, and making him throw like in the Charger game,
40
they
times.
had to throw 47 times. And just like just this week, Bridgewater, they have him pass on 3rd and 2. Well, I wanted to see if they could actually pick it up on the ground.
They can't. That's why they didn't. They can't.
Well, I think I disagree with that. I think that particular day they could have. I just don't think they want to. I don't think they have.
On that particular day, that's what I'm saying. On that particular day, when we go against the bigger teams, they weren't going to be able to make that on the 3rd and 2. Come on now. Against those fast defenses.
Well, what I'm saying, yes, I understand that. But what I'm saying is that there isn't even a mindset to do it.
Yeah, because they know it.
Shermer and Elway,
Oh, they're like 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah.
They're similar.
Yeah, so we're going to win by 17 to 20 points. It's not going to happen.
Against the Jets and Jaguars, maybe. You really, they're going to look good against those teams for the first couple quarters.
Detroit.
Detroit. Oh, wow. I'm so happy we're going against Detroit this year. Oh, man. If we don't start 3-0, and this is my personal opinion, if you can't beat those 3 teams, you have no. I mean, you can't sit up here and say that, oh, we can go 2-1 or 1-2 and still make the playoffs. You can't sit there and tell me straight to my face that this team, if they're 2-1 or 1-2, that they can make a playoff run. You need to go 3. If you want to prove me wrong, Denver, you need to split the Ravens or Steelers game, and you need to win those first 3 games. If you actually have any success of being a playoff team, and God forbid getting Aaron Rodgers, I don't want Aaron Rodgers here. But if that's your mindset, okay, you need to go 3-0, and you need to split those 2 games, and you need to split your division. You at least need to go 2-0 against the Raiders. If you don't go 2-0 against the Raiders, because I think they're tanking, you have no shot here. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, no. And what happens if they barely beat them? Just eke it out or something like that.
Exactly. If you guys win by 3 points or 6 points or 7 points against the 3 teams that you should annihilate, and if you win by 3 against the Steelers and Ravens, but you're playing a damn good game, okay, I can see that. But you better blow out those 3 teams. This better not be a thing where me and you come on here and we barely win 17-14. That better not be the case, because if that's the case, I'm going to let people know ahead of time that this team isn't going anywhere.
Or they lose by a Prater field goal, or I'm sorry, Prater. A field goal that goes just a little bit off. Oh, we just would have had that game.
By this improved special teams, totally.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. This special teams looks like last year's special teams. Oh, what? Why? Because we don't have depth. We barely, like you said, the depth is like an inch deep. That I can say that for every position. Not just the offensive line.
Yeah, it's an inch deep. This
team is a joke.
Yeah, it's definitely a PR machine more than it is a football machine.
All I want here in the 2 weeks is I want to see a team come out and kick the shit out of the Giants. If you can do that, if you can win by 20 points and you look damn good doing it, and you're not eking out those wins against lesser competition, okay, that's going to give me some optimism. But this better not be a case where you're like my college team, the Huskers, who, we hope and pray that Scott Frost is going to change the shit. And I've been telling people, this is off topic, that Scott Frost was going to lose that game because, what did I say? He just – I'm not going to go into it. But this can't be a thing where you can't go into New York, lose by 3 or win by 3. You cannot do that. You have to blow this team out. You have to. This better not.
I'm skeptical.
This the Huskers.
The Giants can run, can't they? They can run the football.
Yes, yes, and they just traded for an offensive lineman. I've been getting notifications. They just signed an off. They just traded for an offensive lineman. So,
was it going to be like third string or what?
I think he's going to be backup, but I don't know who it was. I got to look into that. But from what I saw, the Giants game last night, they looked pretty. Their defense. I'm telling you that you say they got rid of their best defensive player. I'm telling you right now, this defense for the Giants, please do not overlook it, please, because Joe Judge and that defense coordinator are defensive minds, and I'm telling you right now, do not sleep on the Giants. Don't.
Well, we know that Denver's weakest is hitting the offensive line. They know that. They know that that's the weak link.
I'm very nervous about this game with the Giants. People, why are you nervous? Because what gives me hope that this team has changed? I haven't seen in these 3 preseason games.
When do the cuts happen? When do the cuts go on?
I don't know when. It'll probably be Tuesday or Wednesday, somewhere in there.
Down to 50. Went down to 53. 53. All right, we'll look at that.
Keep a close eye on who they cut here, because if they cut, just keep an eye on the players that they cut, because that's going to tell where they're trying to go with this team.
Yep, and what they think they have, and what they think.
People won't even look at that.
No. All right, I'm going to let you go.
All righty.
We had a fiery one today.
All righty. Talk to you later.
At the games in 2 weeks, right? With the Giants.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, it'll be interesting, that's for sure.
All right. Have a good one.
Yeah, there's that DARPA duck.
Yep. He's coming for you.
A bullet to the head with an arm attached to his neck. All right. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.